Ever wonder what happens when a team of serious food lovers tackles a brand new restaurant? Well, today we're diving into a review from the blog The Chinese Quest. They're giving us the lowdown on a new spot called Sweet Wonton House. So let's find out what they discovered. Now, before we even talk about the food, you gotta know who we're dealing with here. The Chinese Quest isn't just some casual blog. Their whole mission, their entire reason for being, is to hunt down the absolute best Chinese food in the area. So yeah, when they review a place, they take it pretty seriously. Their latest mission brought them right here to Sweet Wonton House. It's a newcomer on the scene, right on Northern Boulevard in Little Neck. And because it's so new, they're going in totally fresh. No expectations, just a pure, unbiased first taste. All right, so the team is assembled, 5 reviewers ready to eat. They're on a quest for some real deal, authentic Cantonese food. And their first impression? Well, let's just say it was big. You know, the very first thing the team noticed wasn't even a specific taste. It was the incredible size of the plates. The review really wants you to know this. The portions are absolutely massive. So takeaway number 1 is simple. Show up hungry. Or, get ready to take home some leftovers. And now for the main event, the food itself. Their server pointed them toward the restaurant's signature stuff, and a few of these dishes weren't just good. They were apparently unforgettable. Look, every now and then during a food review, one dish just blows everything else out of the water. It changes the whole game. And in this case, the blog didn't just say it was good. Nope, they called it a complete and total home run. And the dish that earned that incredible praise? The shrimp dumplings. The reviewer's take is so simple, but it says everything. I could have eaten both servings all by myself. I mean, when you hear that, you know it's got to be something special. Up next, another major winner. The 3-flavored dumplings with bone soup. The review just calls it phenomenal. They said the dumplings were stuffed to the gills, and the broth was so delicious and perfectly balanced that it felt like the bowl was bottomless. Definitely a huge highlight of the meal. Okay, now here's something you don't often see. This dish actually converted a skeptic. The writer straight up admits he's not usually a vegetable guy, but these snow peas in garlic sauce totally changed his mind. Cooked perfectly with a garlic sauce he called spot on, it ended up being an unexpected favorite. But the meal wasn't all 5-star reviews and universal praise. One dish hit the table that sparked a genuine debate. It completely split the group's opinion right down the middle. And what was the source of all this drama? The house soy sauce chicken. Now, here's the key detail. It was served cold. That's a very traditional way to prepare it, but it can be really surprising if you aren't expecting it. And that one choice divided the table. Was it an authentic, delicious delicacy, or just a culinary miss? So, here's how it all shook out. Our main reviewer, he thought the chicken was incredibly delicious, super moist, fell right off the bone. But the rest of the group, well, they just weren't feeling it. The review sums it up perfectly. On this dish, your mileage may vary. So, beyond the absolute standouts in that one divisive chicken dish, the rest of the meal was kind of a mixed bag. Some promising stuff, but with a few clear downsides. Let's get into the dishes that were good, but not quite great. So, take the Peking-style pork chops. The portion size, true to form, it was gigantic. But the reviewers found the sauce was way too sweet for their taste, and the pork chops themselves were a little on the dry side. Then there was the youngchow fried rice, which was a real study in contrasts. The texture was praised as heavenly and light, a total home run on that front. But that perfect texture was missing one crucial thing: flavor. In the end, it just fell flat and came across as pretty bland. Okay, so after all of that, the amazing, the bad, and the kind of weird, what's the final verdict? Well, it just might come down to one very surprising factor: the price. When the bill finally arrived, the whole table was kind of stunned. After eating a literal mountain of food, they were bracing themselves for a much bigger number. They just expected it to be more than it was. So, what was the final cost for everything? Just $32 per person, and that's including tax and a good tip. For that much food, with several absolute knockout dishes, the review calls this fantastic value. So to wrap this all up in a neat little bow, the review points to authentic Cantonese food served in gigantic portions. The vibe is pretty casual, maybe even best for takeout, but the value is just excellent. It does a specific thing and it does it really, really well. And the final word from the Chinese quest is pretty clear. Sweet Wonton House is not a fancy white tablecloth kind of place, but for authentic food, amazing value, and a killer takeout option. It's a small restaurant that you should definitely not overlook. And that just about does it for this culinary breakdown. You've got massive portions, phenomenal dumplings, and a price that's honestly hard to beat. So the real question now is for you. After hearing all this, are you adding Sweet Wonton House to your own food quest?